Hello, it has been about an hour since I left you with the end of my wet set when I put my bonnet on. I put a timer on for 15 minutes and I checked it and it was still pretty damp. And then I walked around the house and did a little bit of this and a little bit of that because I go stir. If I sit in one place, I go stir crazy. So then I came back and I put my bonnet back on. And I know you can hear it. I just said I'd let you know how loud it is. So hopefully, I talk loud, I'm sure you can hear me. So then I kind of put my bonnet back on, and then, the hose, which is in the back, that's where the most heat is. So it's in the base of your neck. I forgot how warm you get. So I had to take my robe off, and it was toasty. And I'm like, when I used to do a little series using and showing my vintage hair dry, it was kind of like relaxing, and I thought that's what I remember that I liked about using the vintage blow dry or blowers, bonnet dryers, is they are so relaxing, especially in the winter here in the Midwest, Wisconsin. You put that on, and if the house is a little bit cold, and you put that nice warm, I love sleeping with the sound of a fan one. And then you have that warm air, and the house is kind of cooler. We keep our house at 66. And it's so relaxing to sit with a bonnet on. So anyway, but right now it's warm. So I came back, and what I did was I repositioned it so the hose is over here for a few minutes, on top a few minutes, so the cord, was here for a while, and it was here for a while, and then I had it on top for a while. Trying to distribute heat all over. And then I sat with a timer for 15 more minutes with just the way it is, just like right now. So let's take it off together. I was going to do this. I'm like, no, I'll show you my struggle. So it's been a total of a half hour with it on regular waves, and then a few minutes where I had it positioned, and then I was walking around my house for 10-15 minutes. So add that all up. That's what we got. So I thought I was going to, like I said, I was going to just do it and come back, but I thought, no, I'll show you my whole process. So it's time to take it out. So I got my little, and this little, was my grandmother's. My grandmother had a couple of her vintage Pyrex bowls. My mom had her whole set. So my grandma's colors are kind of like this. So I'm assuming from the 50s or 60s, her color hues. And then my mom's color hues were orange, yellow, so late 60s into the 70s. So I have, like I said, only a couple from my grandma, and then my mom's whole Pyrex setup. And I had those all put away for so long, and I thought, why am I not using them? I have two boys. Their gals are not going to want my mother's and grandmother's Pyrex, and what am I putting up on the cover for? Use them. So I did. So stop talking to me. We're at the beauty parlor. That's what we do. So I'm just going to go take all my picks out first. And I did check it after the first 15 minutes. It was still pretty damp. Like I said, I walked around, came back and did a little spot dry, and then I think they're pretty good. And if they're a little damp, that's okay. 'Cause this isn't like I'm not going anywhere. I'm just staying at home today. So this is my experiment, my hair experiment. And I know if you're when I was talking about my hair, I did put a little lavender. There's still a little bit of lavender left because I did buy this color again and another color that was a little bit darker for Viva Las Vegas. Because as you remember me talking about in my 50 plus style for gals, I put a little color in my hair just so I don't look so. My mother and my grandmother were beautiful, but I'm just not quite ready to look matronly. All right, I got all my picks out, so I'm just going to take my curlers out, and I'll leave the curl kind of together because I'll show you what I'm going to do. And it feels pretty dry. So I have to remember that if I'm doing, they're all dry, so I'm lucky. If I do, so I'm just going to roll in them, and then I'm just kind of letting them fall, the roll fall around my finger. Is that one wet? I'm going to have them just stay in their, that one. Oh, that's right. Now remember these bristle rollers, they get kind of stuck in your hair sometimes. But that's okay. Oh yeah. These, yeah, your hair gets stuck on them, and the foam ones, your hair gets kind of stuck on them a little bit too. If you use a rag roller, you can buy a modified rag roller um, that has a wire in it, and then you don't have that problem. So like I said, I'm just taking them out and then re-rolling them up to the form that they were in. It's all of them in the back. Okay, so we just got our 4 side ones. Oh, so what do we got here, Mary? So I'm going to roll that back up, and then this is where, and after you take your bonnet off, don't brush it out right away, because that heat, you want to heat set it. So I got this janky one here, so I'm going to put a pin curl clip in that. Like I said, remember I told you, oh Lord, who knows what we're going to get here. Well, that one looks pretty good too. I'm going to put a pin curl clip in that one, because just the way the curl is falling, it's kind of not staying in form. All right, here we go. Okay, I'm happy so far. And I was going to say too, I was thinking about this when I was bebopping around my house, that you can put, if you're going to use the bonnet, or anytime, like, you know, when you're using a hair dryer, you can use a heat protectant spray on it before you start all of this stuff. And I never used to do that. So, all right, this was my little one that I hope is gonna, because this is kind of a framing curl. So far, so good, guys. All right. Oh, I was gonna take that out. I'm like, Mary, you just put that in there. Like I said, see? And then I'm just gonna roll it back up. Some of those are frizzy because if you notice when I rolled my hair, you know, I didn't start way at the end and roll it. I just like whipped it around and put it on there. Because that's the way I do it. So, pick up I have kind of got this new mantra that it goes, how do they say it? Don't put it down, put it away. You know, and I've been, because I always worked full time and I was busy and just didn't care. You know, I'd put something on the counter, or I'd like leave these all over there, whatever. But if you got the receptacle, put them back in it right away. Put them back in the box right away, and just don't have them. But it's like you got to have time to do that. Or I guess maybe you have to have the, not the enthusiasm, but the will to want to do it that way. So trying to, since I've retired, try to live by that. Don't put it down, put it away. And it is kind of nice. You know, you're not going around the house picking up stuff that's all over. So, all my curlers are out. No, they're not. This one, and then I got those 2 that are, oh Lord. And that's because how I just janked it up when I rolled it up. Let's say if I'm doing this the right direction. You know, how I kind of back curled it. So it's my own fault that it's like this and coming out like this. So they're all kind of in a curl. I got those 2 little pin curl clips because they're kind of wanky. And you could use whatever you want for, I used to be, back in the 80s, I used to be a big rave girl. And I used rave up until the last year or 2. But they did something with the formula. And I loved rave. Everybody like, rave, you're from the 80s. Yep, and I loved rave. You know, it was good for humidity. It was good hold. And then now when I have purchased it, over a year ago, I quit doing it. It's wet. The spray isn't nice on it. It spits out, and I bought a couple different ones. I bought little ones. I bought bigger ones, and all the same problems. So it's a quality assurance or a formulation issue or stuff. So I gave up my rave hairspray, and now I kind of I'll go over to, is it called TJ Maxx, and get, you know, whatever they got that's cheaper on clearance. But I always try to go something like level 4 hold, something in that, but nothing that, especially when you're doing vintage stuff, you don't want anything that's freeze spray, because then how are you going to comb it out? So anyway, my curls are still semi intact. I'm going to go over with hairspray and spray them off. Like I said, when you take that bonnet off, you want to let your hair cool down to set the curl in, and then I'll just put a little hairspray, and like I said, I'll let that dry for a little bit. Take my little penny curl clips out, And all the girls have these wonderful, you can buy curl defining brushes, and a lot of the girls like the Denman styling brush. And I had one back in the, it was another thing that I got rid of with some of my vintage stuff that I had, was because I really just didn't like the way it felt. When I brush my hair, I like old-fashioned paddle brush. I use paddle brushes. I don't use a curl defining brush. I don't use, and you would get a better curl and you get more definition, and all. Like, this is what I like to use. So you use whatever you like or whatever you feel comfortable with. And like I said, if you watch some of those other gals that I mentioned videos, they kind of go into more precise, like, styling type brushes, or and why they use them and whatever. But this is what I like. I like old-fashioned paddle brush. And then I have my little comb here too if I want to use that for something. But I like a paddle brush. Like I said, there's wave styling brushes. There are the Denim brush. That's a big vintage community type brush that I like to use. So, like I said, check out those gals' videos, and they really kind of go into detail and why it's good to use this type of brush or that type of brush. But I just use like what I like, and I like a paddle brush. So that's kind of dry. So now let's wish me luck. We're going to just take my fingers and run it through loosely. And like I said, this maybe wasn't the best hairspray. I like my Aussie level 4 hairspray, but I'm trying to use this up. Because the level 4 Aussie hairspray, and I find it's the best for everything I like to do. It's hard to find the level 4. You can find the freeze or you can find the liquid stuff, but I like the level 4 Aussie. I wish I had my picture of my mom here. I'm going to be right back. Because I do have my picture of my mom right here. I have some pictures of my mom, and these were probably early high school, and I hope they, but this is how she wore her hair. I've got so many great pictures of my mother. Down here, she must be maybe a freshman. I hope you can see that right here. And then there's my mom. Look at, oh, she's so beautiful. And I just love the vintage style. And then right down here too. You know, it's never just one thing when you come over. So let's get all these curls out with your fingers and run your hands through them. Look how big it gets. My mom always tells a story, and I've got a little video of me and my sister talking about my mom and my mom's hair, that it used to be, you know, she's born in 1927, that the train would come around and the train had the perming device on it to perm hair, because I don't know how it worked, but it had to do with electricity and chemicals, and it looked like it would electrocute you. But Google vintage or first perming machines or whatever. Oh, so mom had said that grandma wanted her to get a perm, because wouldn't that be great? You don't have to set your hair, and you can just have this perm and have curly hair. And it was like my mom's hair, it permed, and it was like this, but it was just a frizzy mess. I got pictures of my mom. You know, she's got it kind of tamed down, but this big full head of hair from this perm. So there's lots of curls from a wet set. And like I said, and I was big in the 80s into the 90s. I was a big 80s perm girl. And I tell you, it took my sister, who's a beautician, lots of talking to get me to stop perming my hair. Because, like, oh, I love my perm. But it was just kind of a big frizzy mess is what it was. But, you know, you just washed your hair and you could go, and it looked like it too. So you get lots of volume and lots of curls with this, for sure. So there's the base. So I'll just kind of spin around on my little stool so you can see the back. Isn't that crazy? I just love it. So, as you can see, I used to kind of wear my hair up like this in the little thing and style it and have it off of my face. But now that I've gotten to be a little older, I want to really soften it and not be so harsh around my face, and to kind of soften it up a little bit. So if I am just doing casual or something for the day, I will just style it. You know, I'm just going to wear a little vintage day dress or whatever, or house dress out. I will just leave it fluffy, spray the bejeebers out of it, and put a little vintage scarf in it like this. And I will wear it just like this. And I'll kind of like soften it up around. I'm not going to start loading hairspray on because this isn't my final look. And I will soften it up. And remember that little piece of hair I was talking about right here? I will brush this out. And then I will just do a little curly Q like that. This isn't the finished product, but I'm just showing you options that I do. So I'll leave it all fluffy, and then I'll kind of go up, but then kind of soften it around my face. And wear it like this. If I'm being casual, just like that. So let's brush this out. All right. So I'm just gonna use my big paddle brush that I love and brush all through it. Oh, now I remember why I love vintage wet set. They're kind of fun, but like I said, I'm trying not to do such a harsh look. You know, these were when my mom was young. Whoops. So I'm trying to soften that up. You can get by with that when you're younger, but when you're older, you need to soften it up a little bit. So like I said, if I'm going casual, I will just leave it all curly, and I will go out that way. And you got to remember, my hair is not very good right now. It's not a good length. It's not good with layers, so I have no idea what this is going to do. So, back in the day, I would, see if I can remember, I would kind of do this and then kind of do a little bit. And these are all just going to be loose. I would do a little bit harder curl around my face. I'd brush this up, brush it around my hand. Like, this is not a finished style by any means, but it would be more structured like this. You know, I'd have more structured hair. Like I said, this isn't finished. I'm just showing you what I'm not doing anymore. So I'm trying to loosen it up. So I got it all brushed out, and what I'm gonna do, and I think too, you can get by when you're more youthful to have a more structured hairdo and something that is off your face, and you can do whatever you want. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, with me, I like to soften it up. So I brush it all out, and then I'm gonna just take underneath and just loosen it all up again. And you can see here, because of my lovely curling technique, that big thing of frizz. And you can brush that all out, but like I said, we're just doing this quick today. But I just kind of want to, there, that's better. I just want to show you. Oh, look at it. So like the lady from the Brady Bunch, the mom, remember she had that came up in her arm? So I'm just going to soften this up. I want more of a soft wave. When I kind of see how I want it, I'll spray it. But I want it a little more soft. And like I said, these aren't perfect curls. And like I said, I'm like, oh, now I'm kind of seeing the error of my ways with some of this stuff. Tried to find a part, but not a definite part. And I use my finger for curling. And like, I don't want to bring it way back there either. So kind of bring it down. And it is a little bit frizzy. Like I said, I haven't had a good haircut for a long time. So I've got a lot of frizz. I got a lot of split ends going on here. And like I said, I don't do a definite part. You can really look at my gray just coming in. Like I said, I'm trying not to. And like I said, I would used to just like brush this and have this all up high like that. kind of curl further back, but I'm trying to bring my curl down a little bit and soften it around my face, just to help with harshness on me, since my features are not as soft as they used to be. So like that, I'm not happy with that. I think that's just too harsh. So that's one thing about this vintage curl. You can just mess around with it. And it's going to be kind of a modified. Okay, so I'm going to do that because that's kind of where I want that to be. And then I'm going to do my, I'm trying to break my habit of do what I used to always do. Keep a little bit more fullness. And do I even know what the back looks like? No. And I'm kind of afraid. Can you see it a little bit? Hopefully. And if I was like really going to town and going to go out, I'd be in my bathroom. I don't do my stuff here in my bedroom. I'd be at the bathroom and I'd have my mirrors and I'd be able to look and I'd define the curl a little bit better in the bathroom. So the only thing is I'm trying to soften this up just a tish. Kind of like zhuzh it up. And I will put a little spray on the bottoms. And if I'm trying to get volume, I'll do the old 1980s, hang my hair upside down, spray it all around to try to get that a little bit more volume. But we're just keeping simple today. And see how harsh it is? I'm going to try to loosen it up and split the curl up just a little bit to kind of define them a little bit more individually, so it's not one harsh piece of hair. So I'm just going to use my fingers to loosely loosen it up a little bit, loosen up that curl a little bit, and have it not so harsh. Alright, now this is just easy peasy what I'm just doing. So like I said, you can keep all those great curls huge and full, and don't brush them out at all and leave them all ringletty and curly. Zhuzh it all up and then put a scarf in it, and I think that looks really youthful, you know, and I do that quite a bit. Used to it. I don't do anything right now. But I remember that I would used to do that all the time, and then keep the curls, set the curls with hairspray so it's nice and big and full. Do a little vintage swoopy swoop in the front, and then just tie it like that with a cute little handkerchief to whatever matched my hair. And then, like I said, I'm trying to loosen this up. And it's very hard because you want to do a structured stuff like my mom's pictures and stuff, but like I said, I'm trying to soften it up just a bit because of my age, just trying to make it a little bit softer. And like, I don't know if I got them in here, but I am a big glasses accessory gal, and I got a couple of vintage glasses I like to wear. And then I'll put these on, and then if I have a vintage hairdo, you know, I totally look like my grandma. So that is why I put a little bit of color in my hair. I'm trying to soften this up a little bit. Like I said, I still got to mess with it a little bit, but keep it soft and loose and bouncy, and that will help. So, like I said, I don't need to add any extra age. I've got enough on me by myself. So, thanks for coming over. This was fun. I think I'm going to get back into the wet sets. They're kind of fun. And do a little bit, because I've got time. Before, you know, they're kind of time consuming, but what I love about a vintage wet set is that, so if you do it, you know, you wash your hair and you do it one day, and then you go out, that you have that set that night, and you usually can get like the day of it that you're styling it. When I go to bed, I will take the sections and do pin curls with bobby pins and put my hair in a scarf, and then get up the next morning and get another. You usually can get 3 days. The day of that you fix it. Pin curl it tonight when I go to bed with bobby pins, because that's what I can sleep on. I know you can rewind it and use what I can sleep on. I'm a light sleeper. I have insomnia problems. So whatever I can do to make it comfortable, but if I'm trying to stretch it, like if I go to Viva, pin curl it, and when you get up, you'll have that day, and then the next day will be kind of like a very easy. And by that day, it's getting kind of heavy. You don't have the fluff in it as much as you used to, and then the third day I would always do a page boy. But like I said, page boy is such a structured, harsh hairdo. I probably won't do page boys anymore. I'm going to try to keep it kind of loose and full, and on my forehead a little bit, not have this too harsh pulled back. Probably, layer the fluffy with scarves. I think that has a real youthful vibe without making you try to look like you're trying to look young. And of course, you pull it back and put a little hair flower in also. That's always nice, but keep it looser and not have a tight pull back like I used to. You know what? Long as we got a second, long as we got time, I have in my drawer here are two, and I think I wore these once, two lovely hair combs from Bell Blossom. So let's try to do a hair comb. See if I can get it so it doesn't look too harsh. So I'm going to do is use my comb loosely because I don't want it tight to my head. And then since I'm going for a more vintage vibe, I'm going to pull it back and then pull it up a little bit and then put my comb in. So when I push that comb in, it will give me a little volume forward. And then I'd have to put some bobby pins. Like I said, this isn't a finished. These are just like free for all. Like I said, I'm going to bring it up and then pull the comb down and put it that way, so that when I put it in, I'm going to redo this one. When I put it in, it's giving me a little bit of volume push down into my hair, so it's not like flat pulled back here. I want to keep it a little more full and mess with this just a little bit, and then I would loosen this up a little bit too. Like I said, I'm trying to keep it a little bit softer and not pull this back as hard. So it's another little option. So that's all from just that one little wet set. Like I said, you can do the big fluffy one day. You can do it like just straight down this way. Put a couple hair combs in it. Do a side flower. There's lots of options. And like I said, you can get a good 3 days, but I'm a gal who likes to wash my hair. And sometimes that third day, and if it's feeling a little bit greasy to you, even it might not, we're so used to washing our hair every day. You can use some dry shampoo on that third day. I wouldn't do it on the second day. I wait till the third day because I don't want a buildup of dry shampoo because, it's a spray powder, right? So I'd wait till the third day to do my dry shampoo for that last day of whatever I was going to do with it for that day. And I think it is Jennifer Lease used to have the life cycle of a wet set, and she went through the whole process of, I think, setting in and then how long she could get out of it, which is really, really cool. I hope she still has up on her YouTube channel, but just check it out. I'm not sure if it's there anymore, but it was Jennifer Elise, and it was called The Life Cycle of a Wet Set or something similar to that. But I'm sure there's other vintage gals out there that have it too. So thanks for coming over. Like I said, I would not go out like this. I'd be in the bathroom and I'd be combing and zhuzhing and fluffing. This is just me sitting here with you guys. And it didn't go too bad. It wasn't as painful. So for the total dry time on the hair, I would say it's a good somewhere in the range of 35 to 45 minutes with my bonnet dryer. For an air dry, I don't remember. It depends on the heat, the humidity, so many different variables and stuff. But I remember that if I would do a wet set, I would do it, get up and do it, let my hair dry, and put my stuff on, and then wrap it up. And I wouldn't put my scarf on if I was just at home because it dries faster if it doesn't have the scarf on. If I'd go out, I'd put the scarf on for a little bit of time. But usually by that evening, it was dry. So maybe 8 hours air dry. That's a guesstimation. So thanks for coming over. This was really fun. Thanks for the struggle with me. And so even you who may not have any skills, you can make it work. Don't feel intimidated by it. You can roll with whatever, and if it's a disaster the first time, don't feel bad. Just keep doing it. Like I said, you do feel more comfortable over time, and you kind of get the gist of how to do it and stuff. And like I said, this isn't a finished hairdo. I'd have to do some major stuff in the bathroom with some mirrors, and maybe I would do a little back combing on the back and stuff. But this is just sitting with talking with you. Thanks for coming over. It was fun. I had a great time. Brought back lots of memories of doing all this, and I will be getting back into doing the wet sets again, getting my skill set back, and doing some hairdos. Like I said, I've been doing a lot of ancestry stuff with my family and old pictures. We have pictures from the 1800s. So just seeing all the old hairstyles and stuff really has really inspired me. And I have my grandma and my mom's hairstyles from, when they were young, teenage, even my grandma, teenagers. And she, because, she was a flapper, she was up at that. And my mom was in high school during World War II. So during the wartime, so I have this big range of different hairstyles and different ears. But not only that, but through the ages of my mom, from the time that she was growing up on the farm in Black Duck, Minnesota, until up into her older age, I have all of her evolution of all her hairstyles. And my mom really used to fix her hair up. Like I said, it was back in the 70s that she'd always go weekly to the hair place, and they would set her hair for her once a week, and then she'd have that, and she would just, I suppose, just like, oh, this is what, so I can get 3 days out of it. I don't know. I wish she was here so I could ask her, but she probably did stuff during her next appointment because it was 7 days before she went in, or maybe she would wash it towards the end of the week and just wear it, whatever. I don't remember, but I can remember my mom didn't get perms probably in the mid 70s. I think she just went in for her wet sets and she didn't get perms, unfortunately, like the rest of us, until into the 80s, and then she started getting permanents. Like I said, us people, us gals, us anybody who used to get the perms, I guess the boys used to get them too a lot too. Oh my gosh. Not my brothers, but I know Gary has this picture of him and his brothers. I don't know, it was around 1990, and they all have permed hair. The long rocker perm hair. Not like our permed hair was, but it took a long time to get rid of that. So, kind of gives you memories of the 80s for you gals that are closer to my age, and memories of my mom and my grandma and their hairstyles and hairdos and stuff. So, thanks for coming over. I'll try to cut it off. Me, Miss Yacker. And it was great fun. And maybe I'll do something else. Maybe we'll do a little refresher and I get my skill set back down. We'll see how I've advanced in a month or two. I am today. So take care. Thanks for coming over. Bye.